settled into a civil co-parenting rhythm with their daughter Emerson when Lily suddenly runs into Atlas nearly 2 years after they last spoke. Elated that the timing finally seems to be right to give what they have together a real chance, Atlas asks Lily on a date. But Lily's excitement is almost immediately replaced by dread and anxiety when Lily remembers that Ryle, though no longer her husband, is still very much part of her life. And although Ryle would dislike Lily dating anyone but him, Atlas Corrigan is the one man he absolutely will not stand having in his ex-wife and daughter's lives. Told from the perspectives of Lily and Atlas, it starts with us, gives readers a deeper look into Atlas's past as he and Lily reconnect and rekindle the love they shared as teenagers while navigating a volatile ex-husband who believes Atlas to be one of the reasons his marriage with Lily ended. It starts with us picks up right where the epilogue for the glorious and touching USA Today. It ends with us left off, giving readers the exhilarating sequel to Colleen's best-selling phenomenon they have been begging for. So this is part 2. Part 1 was really, really good. I'm expecting this one to be a little less crazy. This one's a little more chill, a little more romantic. So this book so far, I am right in the middle. This book has had me swinging and kicking my feet a little bit. Super cute, super cute, super cute. We are like dead smack in the middle here. I have my little bookmark that is also a reading light. Really excited to finish this book. I'm more of a thriller kind of girly. Thriller, mystery, horror book girly. So a lot of the next books that you're gonna see are gonna be of that nature. I honestly can't wait to finish this so I can get into another book. For my book readers, do you guys read multiple books at once? Let me know. This next book is also the second book to like a little series vibe. So this is The Housemaids Secret by Frida McFadden. This is the second book after The Housemaid, I believe. I don't have that book with me right now. I lended it to a friend. I said, you need to read this. But yes, The House. Maids Secret. Alright, let me read the back to you and then we'll talk a little more about it. Alright, so like I said, this is the second book to The Housemaid, so it might be a little confusing. It's hard to find an employer who doesn't ask too many questions about my past, so I thank my lucky stars that the Garricks miraculously give me a job cleaning their stunning penthouse with views across the city and preparing fancy meals in their shiny kitchen. I can work here for a while, stay quiet until I get what I want. It's almost perfect, but I still haven't met Miss Garrick or seen inside the bedroom. I'm sure I hear her crying. I notice spots of blood around the neck of her white nightgowns when I'm doing laundry. And one day I can't help but knock on the door. When it gently swings open, what I see inside changes everything. That's when I make a promise. After all, I've done this before. I can protect Miss Garrick while keeping my own secrets locked up safe. Douglas Garrick has done wrong. He is going to pay. It's simply a question of how far I'm willing to go. So, I'm going to tell you about the first book. I should have told you about the first book too. It starts with us. It ends with us. I should have told you, but just look it up, bestie. But I will tell you. I'll tell you about this one. So, the first book was The Housemaid. And basically, it's a girl who gets a job as a housemaid for a leaves her wondering who's the real victim. But one thing is incredibly clear. Somebody hated Dawn Schiff enough to kill. The Coworker is a tense, unputdownable thriller from New York Times bestselling author Frida McFadden that explores the dark ways the past can echo through the present with deadly consequences. Why does reading in whisper take so much out of you? Like, I'm sorry if I'm like, it's just really hard to read in whispers for some reason. I'm just short of breath right now, I don't know, but that sounds good. They said it was unputdownable, so I'm really excited. See how many pages? It's like 340, 350, 360 pages, which is about, all these books are about 300 and something pages. Excited. This next book, it's not a thriller actually, but I think some people said it made them cry on TikTok, so I like books that make me cry and like scared. I like books that make me feel something, you know. So Hopeless by Holly Coover. Colleen Hoover. I don't think I've read the back of this either. So we're gonna read the back of it. This is another TikTok recommendation. There's about almost, yeah, there's like, oh, there's 400 pages in this one. Right. It says, would you rather know a truth that makes you feel hopeless or keep believing the lies? Okay. Here we go. Sky, a senior in high school, meets Dean Holder, a guy with a promiscuous reputation that rivals her own. From their very first encounter, he terrifies and captivates her. Something about him sparks memories of her deeply troubled past, a time she tried so hard to bury. Though Sky is determined to stay far away from him, his unwavering pursuit and enigmatic smile breaks down her defenses, and the intensity of the bond between them grow. I'm sorry, I can't read it now. But the mysteries Holder has been keeping secrets on his. I can't read right now. We're gonna try that sentence again. But the mysterious Holder has been keeping secrets of his own, and once they're revealed, Sky has changed forever, and her ability to trust may be a casualty of the truth. Only by courageously facing the stark revelations can Sky and Holder hope to heal their emotional scars and find a way to live and love without boundaries. Hopeless is a novel that will leave you breathless, entranced, and remembering your own first love. Did you even understand was I just reading words? Like, you know, when you read out loud, sometimes it sounds like you're just reading words and not sentences. I hope that made sense to you. So this is giving romantic, steamy dark, and I'm here for it. So, Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. Alright, our next is, I have two more Colleen Hoovers. She was who really got me back into reading. So, I did grab a few of her books. So, this one I've had for a while, but I just haven't read. So this one is Confess. confession could be much more destructive than the actual sin. In her magnificent and exceptional style, Colleen Hoover delivers, once again, a deeply moving story about how true love and family are ties that can never be broken. And then some of the critics say, I devour her words like candy. Hoover is one of the freshest voices in new adult fiction. Hoover built a terrific new adult world. Every now and then a book comes along that just leaves me breathless. So this one's kind of giving like this one, like these, maybe the same vibe, but this one's a little shorter, it seems. This one has like only 300 pages. I hope this was 400 pages, but I'm really excited to get to that one. Alright, our last, Colleen Hoover. And then the rest are more dark, like a mystery, horror. So we have Ugly Love. Ugly. I love the cover. I think it's so pretty. Ugly Love. This is 20% off at Target. This was also another TikTok recommendation. I didn't even read the back of it, so we're gonna read it together, okay? It says, it's not exactly love at first sight for T. Collins when she meets the tormented and secretive Miles Archer. They wouldn't even go so far as to consider themselves friends. The only thing Tate and Miles have in common is a mutual physical attraction that can't be denied. Once their desires are out in the open, they realize they might have to stumble on the perfect no-strings attachment arrangement. They realize they might have stumbled on the perfect no-strings attachment. He isn't looking for love, and she doesn't have time for it, so that leaves just the sex. What they've got could be surprisingly satisfying as long as T closest to his true vocation, the analysis of prenatural manifestation. Even the words are kind of big. Like, am I stupid? It's just, I don't know. There's no chapters either. It's just like non-stop. Oh no, I lied. I just seen a chapter. Oh well, they're like that. I guess. Is that chapter? Does that mean chapter 4? Oh no. Look. This video is gonna be so long. I'm just like, look, okay, there's a 7 right there. So there are chapters. And there are, oh, there's only 100. There's only 175 pages. I might just get over the fact that it's not from a specific person's perspective and just read it. That's why it's in this video, to be read. But yeah, let me read the back to you. 4 seekers have arrived at the rambling old pile known as Hill House. Dr. Montague, an occult scholar looking for solid evidence of psychic phenomena. Theodora, his lovely and light-hearted assistant. Luke, the adventurous future inheritor of the estate. And Eleanor, a friendless, fragile young woman with a dark past, as they begin to cope with chilling, even horrifying occurrences beyond their control or understanding. They cannot possibly know what lies ahead, for Hill House is gathering its powers, and soon it will choose one of them to make its own. I'll probably read that last. This one is, look how thick this book is. So this one is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. And she is thick. Alright, let's read the back. This one I think I was just in Barnes & Noble, and this one caught my eye because I think this one was like highlighted. Alright, here we go. So this is horror. Single mother Kate Reese is on the run, determined to improve life for herself and her son, Christopher. She flees an abusive relationship in the middle of the night with her child. Together, they find themselves drawn to the tight-knit community of Mill Grove, Pennsylvania. It's as far off the beaten track as they can get, just one highway in, one highway out. At first, it seems like the perfect place to finally settle down, until Christopher emerges from the woods at the edge of town, unarmed but not unchanged. He returns with a voice in his head only he can hear, with a mission only he can complete. Build a treehouse in the woods by Christmas, or his mother and everyone in the town will never be the same again. Build a tree house in the woods by Christmas. That's kind of oddly specific, but this book is extremely long. Damn. This book is 700 pages, bro. This will be the longest book I've ever read in my life if I read it. That is very long. And the words are pretty small. They're not like big, they're actually smaller than an average book's words. So this is gonna be a long one. Imaginary Friend. Ambitious, uplifting, Chbosky has his eyes firmly on humanity. Original, surprising, and all out, not for the faint-hearted. Faint-hearted? Why does it say like that? calls your phone. Your child has been kidnapped. The stranger then explains that their child has also been kidnapped by a completely different stranger. The only way to get your child back is to kidnap another child. You are now part of the chain. Yeah, so I started this one. It was only about 20 pages in. And this is another book that has a narrator from the outside telling the story. So I don't get the mom's perspective or the child getting kidnapped's perspective. They're just telling the story about these people, and I really don't like that. Like, I want the mom to be telling the story, you know? But, yeah, so that's why I didn't really continue, and I kind of just got into a different book, but I will definitely get back to this. I do want to get over that fact, that some books are written from that perspective. So I don't want to let that keep me from reading some really great books, so we'll get to the chain, we'll get back to it, we'll get back to it. Okay, so this is the last book on my to be read. I'm sure I will be adding more books soon. I'm always on the hunt for new books. I go to Barnes and Nobles when I'm bored. Barnes and Noble, not Nobles. Smudges on the floor, licking himself. If you hear him, I'm sorry about that. But here we are. This is a thriller. It's called You Shouldn't Have Come Here. You shouldn't. That's too long. You shouldn't have come here. This is hardcover. And there's about 300 pages in this book. 30% off the Target. Okay, and the description of the book is actually inside the sleeve. So we're gonna read this to you. It says, Grace Evans, an overworked New Yorker looking for a total escape from her busy life, books an Airbnb on a ranch in the middle of Wyoming. When she arrives at the idyllic getaway, she's pleased to find that the owner is a handsome man by the name of Calvin Wells, and he's eager to introduce her to his easygoing way of life. But there are things that Grace discovers that she's not too pleased about. A lack of cell phone service, a missing woman, and a feeling that something isn't right with this ranch. Despite her uneasiness, the two bond and start to fall for one another. However, as her departure date nears, things change for the worse. What began as a playful romance soon turns into a complicated web of lies. Grace grows wary of Calvin as his infatuation for her seems to have morphed to obsession. Calvin fears that Grace is hiding something from him, including her reason for staying at this ranch to begin with. Vacation flings typically end in heartbreak, but for Grace and Calvin, it'll be far more destructive. My lips are so dry. So yeah, this is giving. It's giving that it's gonna be a little bit steamy in the beginning. maybe. So I actually started this book. I don't even have my spot remembered, so probably when I start to read this again, I'll probably just start it from the beginning because I wasn't far into the book at all. This book gives you the perspective from both of them, the girl and the boy. So it's like a chapter is her, and then a chapter is him, and then a chapter is her, and then a chapter is him, back and forth. I don't know how I feel about